You're listening to Subculture on CentralCoastRadio.com. I'm your host Kyle, and I'd like to talk a little bit about a recent play that I just watched called The World According to Dinosaurs. Now, it's a spectacle play of dance, drama, music, comedy, and paleontology. Our hero is a no nonsense barista. I don't believe the main characters are ever actually given names in this play, so bear with me. But our hero is played by Belle Hanson. She's struggling to make it through a regular workday, and this might actually be the last ever regular workday. She's efficient and professional in her job, but she has no time for insight or philosophy or the customers as it stands. And every hero needs a foil, as the show's narrator tells us, and for for our hero, that comes in her her sidekick and co-worker, her goofy sidekick and co-worker, and they're played by Amelia Newman, who is someone with a completely different outlook on life and work as our hero. Uh, Seemingly fascinated by everything in the world except for her job as a barista, much to our hero's chagrin. Uh, the story it's a story about the end of the world or the last day. Uh, Storms are raging outside. There's sinkholes. A meteor might be falling on the Earth any moment now, and there's this kind of ever-present like feeling of doom throughout the entire play, as our character's day goes on. Throughout the day, these two baristas they question the human experience and question humanity's extinction and where we will go from there. Uh, yeah, so this is directed by Cassandra Gray and it's presented by the Frenzy Theatre Company. The It's the brainchild of Belle Hanson and Amelia Newman, the two lead characters. There's actually like 8 people on stage at any time, but it's really primarily about these two characters. Uh, I was actually lucky enough to see Frenzy Theatre Company's previous play, or one of their previous plays, called Motherload. Uh, that was a really ambitious production. It was kind of a that was like a play recreating the experience of watching somebody playing a game of The Sims. It was really impressive. It had a huge set, and yeah, you were kind of watching kind of something like a let's player play a game of The Sims, and there was an audio visual setup. It was really kind of interesting how that one was put on. So I was excited to see whatever they worked on next. And in some ways, this is a much more scaled back production. It has I believe a smaller set, or it definitely has a smaller set. I believe it has a smaller cast as well. But as I said, there's sometimes 8 people on stage at a time. There's dance choreography, lighting effects, sound design, and it really is kind of a really it still is a full tilt, amazing kind of hour of entertainment. Even though it's a smaller play than I believe Motherload was. Uh, as I said, the show is amazingly complex. Like while Hanson and Newman are the main focus of the story, the 6 other cast members are keeping themselves busy. They're constantly coming and going on stage, playing different characters, often hilarious characters, and yeah. But the ideas and concepts that are explored by the two main characters are often played out by the extras. I hate to say extras because they are major parts of the play, but the supporting cast usually play out these concepts in kind of like an absurdist, abstract fashion, with a lot of interpretive group pantomime. Like the first unexpected burst of this comes in this really bizarre puppet show. Like like inexplicably, Newman's character explains her theories on how dinosaurs evolved to become birds, and suddenly our supporting cast is using sock puppets and their own bodies really to break into this huge choreographed sequence of them acting out, playing as dinosaurs and birds and stuff like that. It's just one of the show's surprises. I don't want to talk about too many of them because yeah, I was really impressed by how well the huge ensemble cast worked together in these pretty much dance choreographed numbers. I feel they're akin to. The lighting design by Theo Viney was incredible. Also, like the lighting throughout the show really sets the mood, and for whenever there's an abstract kind of cutaway sequence, the the set is a cafe, and that's kind of throughout the show. The set is kind of moved around. The tables and chairs and the actual counter of the cafe gets moved around, but for a large part, it's really down to the lighting effects and the sound design, which I think really sets the scene. Speaking of the sound design by Jack Burmeister, who really I think deserves a lot of credit for this. I adored his work on Motherload, and like even kind of going beyond music, I think that this is maybe a an even greater achievement. I really loved how he recreated the sound and the feel of a game of The Sims without really using I believe any copyrighted music or any music from the actual games. Went on This is on the Motherload play, and yeah, I could definitely tell straight away that it was the same guy doing the music for this, even without looking at the playbill, the cast and crew list. But yeah, the even beyond the music, which, as I say, was kind of familiar sounding, the feeling of dread and that feeling of horror that's coming. There's thunderstorms and just this uh, overbearing, horrific feel that's playing throughout the entire play. That largely comes from the soundscape that he creates. On the only real the only real downside is that on the subject of sound, that's perhaps the show's greatest weakness. I don't know whether it's because of the acoustics of the La Mama courthouse where this is currently playing. It's been playing at different venues. This is, I believe, the final place that it's playing in its current run. And I don't know whether it's because of the acoustics of the La Mama courthouse, but sometimes lines of characters are a little hard to hear. I was only about halfway down the audience, and talking to some people from further back after the show, they had an even harder time hearing what was being said than I did. Um, I know it's sometimes this is the intent. The it's intended that you're not supposed to be able to hear what's going on. It's this crescendo of noise and a clamor of racket. But there's sometimes that I feel like you clearly are supposed to hear what they're saying, like when uh, I believe Newman's character gets handed a microphone at one time to talk into, and their voice is played over the speakers, and I swear I could hear them better without the microphone than with it, just because of the way the speakers are set up. I don't know what it is. I don't want to blame anybody for it. It might just be a situation of the theater itself. I don't know, but yeah, that was kind of a problem. The narrator's voice in particular regularly gets completely drowned out by that clamor of the cast making noise, talking, music, and effects. It's all these different things at the same time that kind of drown out certain noises and certain voices, and I don't know, that was really the one problem that I had with it, because like, I admit that I feel that some of the show's internal meaning, the interpretation of the show might have flown a little bit over my head. I don't know how much. I could hear enough of the show. I could hear enough of the show to know that it was flying over my head. It really is a really absurdist, um, a really absurdist kind of bizarre show with a lot of different things going on. But at no point did I ever feel bored or unentertained. I'll say that it's there's a mix of like a slice of life story, but also with romance and sci-fi, um, meta self-referential voiceover narration, and really just a lot of things going on in it. And I couldn't exactly tell you what the point or what the message of the show is, but I can tell you that I really enjoyed it. I really had a good time. It was at no point was it boring. It was I maybe didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed Motherload, but I still really did enjoy this show. I would give it 4 out of 5 stars. And it's currently The World According to Dinosaurs is the name of the show. It's currently playing at La Mama Courthouse until the 4th of June. Tickets are selling really quick, so try to get in if you can. And yeah, for tickets, visit the lamama.com.au, and that's the courthouse's website. And yeah, let's check it out if you can. You're listening to Subculture on centralcoastradio.com, and we'll be back right after this.